Hey everybody, let me log in here. Okay, cool. Here we go. Ooh, I wonder who's gonna show up first. Hey Skel, just gonna play Genshin today, Skel, because I'm just gonna be in fast. But then we'll play Snoop game on Tuesday. That's what I'm planning. But yeah, I'm just really tired. I don't want to read too much. But yeah, Skel, be here on Tuesday for Snoop game. I also looked up a little bit about it on TV Tropes, so I know a little bit more about it. And I tried not looking at spoilers. So from what I saw for Snoop game, um, I saw that there's like some charged moments. So I'm very excited to get to those. But again, I tried to do my best to not screw myself over too much with the spoilers. Aspiring writer doesn't want to read. Yes, 100%. I'm not an aspiring writer. I don't aspire. Real great impression. Oh, hey, Ty. Ah, yes. Reading's a lot. How are you doing, Ty? I hope this chapter doesn't have Seiro's epic moment that Horikoshi mentioned in an interview. That would be lame. I agree. I mean, Skell, if you want to see more Snoop game, I'll play Snoop game. If you want to see more. Do. Oh, hey, White Despair. And hello, Chris. Any new things? Any new things going on spoiler reaction? Is anyone on the internet coming up with weird ideas? Oh, okay. Whew. Thanks, Skell. Thanks for the thanks for the consideration there, man. But yeah, no, I will play it on Tuesday for sure. I think that'll be okay to do on Tuesday. Or I don't know. If this goes on long enough and I just finish up my dailies on Genshin, don't have anything else to do, depends. I might just go over the Snoop game. Oh, you may or may not have a job, so well that's great, Skell. Wait, well what's the job? Is it gonna be that is it gonna be the thingamajig that you were dealing with? Or is it something unrelated? Demon Slayer game going to main Rengoku and Sabito. Is that a fighting game that's coming out, Ty? Oh, and hello, Jazz. Like, I've had 3 people call me about paid work over the last few days. Unrelated. Oh, okay. Well, that's great. Oh, good for you, man. But yeah, guys, I'm probably not going to stay on for too long. I'm not feeling at 100%. So probably, like, go for an hour. We can chat about Hero Academia and whatnot, get all that done, and then I'm probably going to go to sleep early. I think my bad habits are catching up with me. Who would have thought, right? Basically, the most noteworthy thing I've seen online is apparent seething rage that suggested that all Class 1A are Izuku's friends. Honestly, I don't understand this one. What? People are upset that after a year in a course where people are constantly risking their life that Izuku has friends? I mean, like, mind you, Horikoshi is like really aggressive about it, right? Like when you look at the spoilers, he 100% knows how weird it is. That's why he has Koda saying stuff like, "Hey, you know, like we were only really in the class, but he's my friend already." And mind you, like I think like legitimately Izuku and Koda are friends because like in the novels they get along a little bit better. I mean, they also live in the same building. But yeah, in the novels, like it's a lot clearer that they are more or less friendly. But like the author himself is aware of how weird it looks. That's why the D list is getting their big moments. But it's just an issue of optics. That's all it really is. All comes down to optics. Okay, let's go there. Oh, spades and shades. I swear to God, if Izuku has a kid and does not name him Toshinori, I'll be mad. Okay, common. Yeah, it's like the Naruto Storm games with looking gameplay. Oh, okay. I wonder why Nezu decided to have Izuku come back instead of working with the heroes. Oh, it's probably because... Well, it depends. It depends on how the kids argued with him. Or, like, what exactly they said about it. But likely, it's just flat out, they said, like, Izuku is going to self-destruct. Nezu's, like, listening to that, and he's like, yeah, okay, that makes sense. Like, he legitimately might self-destruct. Like, this is going on too long. It all depends on what kind of... And if Nezu knows that the heroes are having a tough thing, you have to remember, the heroes are already saying that Izuku might burn himself out. Like, the heroes are already very aware of how bad of a situation this is for Izuku, right? So, when you have all the information, Nezu is saying, well, I'm open to changing my mind. So it makes sense why he would change his mind at this critical moment in time. Like, everything here is reasonable for what he's doing. Like, him saying that he's willing to change his mind is also extremely reasonable. Okay. There we go. What the? Alright, cool. Oh, hey, Sar. Okay, 1 second. Gonna read those comments. Let's see. There's so many comments here. Skelly said it's a Shonen Jump arena fighter, like the basic everyone, every WSJ game gets. Yes, okay. So it's pretty much like My Hero Academia One's Justice or whatnot. Now let's see. Nezu is a traitor. Nah, I still don't see that. You know what? I've actually really fallen in love with the idea that Midnight's a traitor, guys. Not gonna lie. I've really fallen in love with that idea. Oh wow, this guy's really fishing up a storm over here. But yeah, really fall in love with that one. I think that's gonna be... What the? Am I not hitting it? What the heck's going on here? Stand your eyes and close your eyes and stand back. Oh, is he gonna kill it? Okay. Oh, okay. That was interesting. The chef. Okay, cool. That was weird. Didn't think that was gonna be a showcase of one guy's power. All right, going back to read. Let's see. I hope this isn't the thing that Hody was about in terms of tons of characters coming together from that interview. Yeah, I hope not either. I hope not either. I mean, like, there's probably gonna be more moments. Also, how long has it been since everything that happened with Izuku until Bakugo show up last? I see it like only being a week with the flashback we be getting. Not too sure, Chris. I think I'll probably wait till I see the chapter properly. But it's like, it's a few days after Izuku left, but it doesn't really make sense because of the way, like, did Bakugo hold on to the letter for a few days before tearing it up? That doesn't really make sense. So maybe it's a few days after Izuku left and then a few days later. So it's definitely after Endeavor has done the whole thing at the warehouse. Yeah, I don't know, man. Deku probably logically should win against Bakugo, Ida, and Uraraka, but he will probably lose. No, we might actually see him win. Like, again, these kids are the kids that got beaten by Mirio gut punching them. So, are you really going to expect a lot from them? Not really. I mean, it depends on what kind of story Horikoshi wants to tell, right? I mean, like, from a narrative perspective, I feel like you have different ways of justifying this. It all depends on how creative you want to be. Like, if you want Izuku to win, you say that Izuku just overwhelmed them with power. If you want the kids to win, you say that the kids have better teamwork and were able to overwhelm Izuku, who was weakened, right? There's two easy avenues here. It's just a question of, do you pick weakness or do you pick desperation as the key um, factor? A lot of people online are really angry at this for some reason. They're claiming that the notion that everyone in class is terrible writing for some reason. I don't get it. Yeah, I don't get it either. They live in the same dorms. Like, what do you want? They fight together. Like, Kirishima and them they've been through so much dangerous situations. Honestly, Koda is like the real question mark. But that's why the author has him specifically saying something about how he and Izuku are friends. Look, Koda's rabbit thinks Izuku's a sweet kid. If Koda's rabbit is friends with Izuku, I don't know what else to say. I don't like Suki because the author won't step over glorified Japanese culture. Okay. Oh wait, you're talking about that Isekai-chan? Honestly, I'm really curious what the full capabilities of the UA barrier are. Me too. But you know, like the moment that Nezu brings up the UA barrier, it's like this thing is gonna have to be used, and it's gonna have to. It's gonna have to be used. You don't bring up the UA barrier and then don't use it. So I really hope it's an energy barrier. But that's gonna be interesting because that's where the trader is gonna screw them over. Also found out today the author has interesting hobby. He trolls on Twitter with different accounts. Sometimes I wish that recommended never existed on YouTube. Oh, okay. Interesting. So, yo, Spade, let's keep talking about your hobbies. How do you get in contact with the webtoon people? Like, what's your strategy of getting these question and answers? And, you know, I am totally asking you because I want to emulate you. I'm very transparent about this. If you don't want to tell me, that's okay too. I respect it. But I am still very curious. People are saying Izuku is about to go Omni-Man on the class, which I kind of hope. I'm surprisingly very excited about next chapter. I thought it'll be a simple battle, but looking very serious. Nah, man. Nah. I don't think it'll be that serious with Omni-Man. I don't think it'll be like a super serious battle. I don't think there's going to be that many showcases as well either. Like, I don't know. I'm thinking for a lot of tomfoolery. To go to Jason's question, hey Jason, because Jason's asking, you really think Izuku still escapes? Yeah, I'm leaning more towards it. Now, mind you, I don't know how he escapes. Actually, he has smokescreen. That's like the #1 escape mechanism we've ever seen. Actually, that might be the time for the second user's quirk to come out too, if you think about it. But yeah, like Jason, I don't know if you caught what I just said, but it's pretty much, this can go either way. It depends on what exactly the author wants to focus on. Does he want to focus on weakness, or does he want to focus on desperation? That's really all it comes back down to. It's weakness versus desperation. He can decide whichever way he wants to go about this. Now, from my perspective, I don't care about numbers. Numbers don't matter. Like, really, if these kids were going to be smart, they would bring in Shinzo and have him hidden, and then they would try to get Izuku to respond to Shinzo. If they were smart, they would do that. Now, mind you, like, Izuku might have vestiges interfering, but the vestiges, depending on how they're feeling, they might screw over Izuku if Shinzo came into the picture. But, you know, are the kids smart enough to bring Shinzo? I don't know. I mean, Shinzo definitely is Izuku's friend, but just to like talk about it, if they brought in Shinzo, even with vestige interference, Shinzo would give them an opportunity to hit. But it depends. Do they bring Shinzo along and hide him? Although if Shinzo shows up and then Monoma shows up, maybe we should question whether or not this is the big moment that Horikoshi was talking about. But like at the end of the day, there's a lot of different ways that the author can go about either situation. In terms of what I would personally prefer, I prefer for Izuku to be happy again. So him going back with the kids would be nice, but I don't know, like, for this to be a wake-up call for Izuku would need to be like really brought down, and the kids would need to really talk to him. But I don't think that would really, I don't know if they would be able to do that with Izuku as he is right now. Like, it all depends on whether or not you think that the kids stopping Izuku is enough of a wake-up call for him. I'm not sure. I'm not sure how that might go. But yeah, like, I think there's a lot of ways out here. Heck, if you want, like, just to invoke Tai here a bit, if it does come down to it, you know, we could also see Toga coming in here and helping Izuku out to get away from them for some reason. Like if we want to be insane, but it's just there's ways to go about this. And from my perspective, Izuku still needs to talk to Stain, and I don't see Izuku talking to Stain by going back with the rest of Class 1A. And again, this could be like the moment where we see Izuku demonstrating how much he knows about his class and how much he's about to throttle them. Why do people think Uraraka is a traitor? Oh, because there was a really popular Tumblr theory once upon a time common. And money, yeah, money was a thing. I'm still in the traitor is the parent of being so proud of their child that they won't start bragging everywhere that they can about their child. Yes, Skel. I was there with that one. Yeah, man. That would still be funny. They care enough about Izuku to not let him self-destruct. You have to consider they might come up a solid strategy of how to subdue him. Bakugo knows all of his quirks except first and second. Momo might come into play. Bakugo doesn't know how effective Danger Sense is, though. And yeah, Momo might come into play. But going back to it, Bakugo doesn't know how sensitive Danger Sense is. And Bakugo doesn't know how overpowered the other quirks are. Right? Like, Bakugo has the best shot at being able to deal with this. But that's why we also have, like, the unknowns of the second and third quirks for them. And like the other thing is just Izuku has super strength. That already puts him at a massive advantage. Like Sugar Man can try and counter Izuku, but Izuku has super strength. We've already seen what happens when people have super strength. It's too much of a calculation. These kids are gonna have to do like the most incredible thing. Now, mind you, if we're talking about like physical constraints too, Horikoshi has a limit to how much of a team play he can show in the next panel. Like, best case scenario is in the next chapter, 1A each has a moment to hit Izuku. But at the same time, they better hope they don't get the moment to hit Izuku, because if Izuku tries to block any of those situations, every block that Izuku makes is just going to end up charging him up. So, you know, there's a lot of unfortunate things happening here. The reality is, well, we know that Bakugo can barely keep up with 50% Izuku. Like, what happens if Izuku flat out goes in with like 100% jump, right? That's going to be pretty rough. No one's going to be able to keep up with him. Unless Ida, but then Ida can't go into the sky. Like, really, there's a lot of things to do that you could do to stop Izuku. Like, Mineta should be one of them. If they don't have Shinzo, Mineta is one of their greatest weapons. Because, again, if Mineta sticks himself to Izuku, like, if Mineta goes hardcore and jumps onto Izuku's body and sticks himself there, then no matter what Izuku does, he has to carry Mineta with him. That would be pretty hilarious. But that is what indicates that Izuku would be smart enough to not go for the obvious let Mineta catch him. Mineta should be one of the secret weapons if the kids have a strategy. Also, starting to get the suspicion that Hero Academia might get the Yu Yu Hakusho pace of it's going to end on Simplex Adherence. But I notice every couple of years this happens to a series that changes tones. Oh, and yeah, Jason, someone mentioned that it had a filler episode coming up. I think Izuku is unknowingly the traitor, but I think... Oh, geez. I think it could be Denki, but I also think it might be Hagakure. Yes. Did you see... Okay, yeah, so Moonlit Fantasy. So, I was asking you guys about where this thing started because it sounded really familiar. It turns out I did read it. I had read this thing as a manga and a light novel, like, years and years ago. So I saw it and I was like, oh, okay, so this is what it is. Yeah, this thing. And I know that I got tired of reading it and I stopped reading it like after this portion, actually, like what the first episode covered. Well, yeah, like probably a little bit after that. Like there's a part next that comes up about one of Shen's special abilities, and then after that I just got tired of it, just kind of annoyed and just put it away. So I don't remember what exactly annoyed me about it, but yeah, they really rushed through a lot. I remember spending a lot of time on those first little bits that the anime episode covered. Yeah, and for the goddess, I did think she was really unreasonable, but honestly, I don't really care. She's not that bad. I think there's worse. I can't remember which isekais have it worse, but yeah, didn't care all too much. I thought, yeah, she's just an annoying person. I mean, like when I was reading it, I was 100% very excited for him to throttle her at some point later, but it's not that great deal of annoyance. I really hope we see Izuku looking back at those notes he made about everyone. It's the perfect opportunity to bring that up. Yes, I agree, AN683. I'm hoping that all the kids have their own approach to the situation. I don't think everyone is just going to be down with beating up Izuku. Some may be hesitant to fight. You know, Jazz, that would be a problem just because it would devalue Ida saying that they have to be ready to take Izuku back no matter what. So you think is going to defeat them all and escape? No, not really. I don't think he's going to defeat them all because trying to fight all of them is stupid. He should be trying to prioritize running away. We need to see some Nomu get taken out by the barrier. Yes. I think it'll be mainly Ida, Uraraka, and Bako who shine in this fight against Izuku. Should also be Shoto. I mean, like, when it comes to who should be shining, it's Kaminari, Jiro for sound. It should be Mineta. It should be Sero, maybe. Maybe no. Uraraka's useless. Uraraka has nothing she can do here other than support her classmates. Because if she tries to float Izuku, Izuku's just going to activate float by himself and propel himself around. Yeah, so Mineta, Momo, Kaminari, Jiro, maybe. Let's take out Jiro. Let's put in Kaminari. Those are the three that really should shine. And maybe Todoroki, depending on how he uses his ice. Toru too, because he's. Oh no, wait, no. Danger Sense is gonna give Toru away. Yeah. This is gonna be funny. Danger Sense is probably going to break up the altercation. Though I think Ida will easily catch up to Izuku if he tries to escape. Not if Izuku goes into the sky. Ida won't be able to catch up with that. Like, if Izuku does a full smoke screen and runs away, like, it's over. Like, Izuku was able to take out, what, 6 blocks of a city? Yeah, if Izuku does a 6-block smoke screen, it's done. Only a few people have the capability to actually chase after Izuku at that point. Uraraka slap and hug will bring Izuku back. That would work. That would work. I think that would work. I don't think he'll go that brutal on them, but they will truly know the difference between their strength and how Izuku is now. I just don't see him going with his friends at the moment. He needs to fall. Yeah, I agree with that, Ty, and that's like what makes me apprehensive. Again, though, like, I'd be very okay with like a nuanced thing of like Class 1A wins the battle, but they lose the war kind of thing. Or sorry, Class A. Like, you know, maybe they knock Izuku out and they take him back, but then Izuku runs away anyway. That kind of stuff I'd be pretty okay with as well. Yes, and Stain could come in to help. We'll start with Stay on My Mind. I took online journalism and last game questionnaires most of my life. I am inquisitive by nature, so I always wanted to connect with more with the world. Okay. And gotcha, Jason. Second and third. Yes. While Deku's distracted fighting, Momo's going to shoot a tranquilizer, probably some sleeping gas. That's a scenario I could see. Oh, that'd be super. If she did, that'd be super. Just because you said my potential quirks are lame doesn't mean that you think. Doesn't mean they won't be enhanced by all for one. Or sorry, one for all. Think back. Well, think. Don't think it enough for the Class A to stop Izuku. I think something super bad needs to happen, like All Might dying or something. While on self-destruction is at its highest point. Honestly, I'm expecting Bako to have little to no problems keeping up with Izuku. We know that Bako was just managed to keep up with 45. However, that was before he learned his new compressed explosion was specifically about moving faster. So, do you think that Bakugo's new compressed explosions will allow him to keep up with 100%? That's quite a lot. That's a pretty big jump in power output. I'm not sure. That seems like a ridiculously big jump. I'm not sure that would hold. I mean, mind you, like it's just a nebulous percentage. So if the author wants to do it, he could do it. I guess that's the problem with not really knowing what speed he's traveling at. Oh, okay, gotcha, Spade. Spade's talking about what he believes about the internet. Hey, Sarge. Who do you think is stronger, Edgeshot or Izuku? Izuku's stronger. Edgeshot's a technicality though. Like Edgeshot, if Edgeshot makes a hole in Izuku's lung, Edgeshot wins, right? If Edgeshot actually approaches Izuku like a ninja, Edgeshot wins. I don't think it's a really fair comparison. Would love to tell you all about it, but it's more a story. Okay. Gotcha, Spade. Okay, gotcha, Spade. Yeah, no, man. You can just text me on Discord. You know, you can just text me on Discord if you want to share anything. Do you think Izuku sees the smoke or he can see it? Sees the smoke? I don't think Izuku can see through the smoke. Have him make clear the lightning is real. Have Chargeable absorb his energy to weaken him. That'd be cool. I'm disappointed that the next filler is about Majestic. It's such a waste. Oh, it's not about Majestic. I was about to say, like, if it's about Majestic, that's great, but it's not. Okay. Such a waste of opportunity. Not only is it dragon, but My Villain Academia, but it's so irrelevant. Does anyone know what the filler is about? Oh, hello, legendary anime fan. Okay, cool, cool, cool. And then Jason says unlikely Bakugo can keep up with Suda 100. Yeah, I think I agree with that too. Like, I don't see Bakugo being faster than a bullet, you know? Like, that's the thing that throws me off. I'm not sure Bakugo's faster than a bullet. Then again, the idea that Izuku's faster than a bullet is pretty aggressive. You know, I guess a worthwhile question would have been, do you guys think that all of Class A could have beaten Nagant without Izuku? Do you think they could have won? And like, if you say yes, do you think all of Class A can beat Mirio now as they are now? Actually, like, I think Nagant probably would have won against Class A if she was careful about it. If she approached the same way she approached Izuku, I think Nagant probably wins against Class A. Because you, like, really, there's a very limited amount of people that can actually... Oh, there they are. There's a limited amount of people that can actually deal with Nagant. And actually, it's Bakugo. Bakugo can deal with Nagant. Oh, hello, Kamzi. We know that Izuku's light is invisible because the Volume 28 cover is supposed to be Aizawa lit up by Izuku's light. Oh, okay. The filler is about Uraraka, Suyu, Nejire, and Selkie about the quirk bullets, which is irrelevant. Oh, okay. Huh. Some would have died. Yeah, I mean, Bakugo was able to shoot a bullet out of the air after it was thrown by Shigaraki. Wait, but like that's not it. Like Shigaraki's not throwing it at the speed of an actual explosion. Shigaraki's probably not throwing it at that speed. Meanwhile, you have the speed of an actual explosion versus a projectile speed from Shigaraki's finger flick. I don't know. I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know. I don't think I want to... I just don't think I feel comfortable giving Bakugo that level of an accolade. Mind you, if the author wants to give it to him, then sure. But like for now, it feels a little bit too hasty to give Bakugo that level of power. Then again, we'll have to see. We'll have to see. It all depends whether or not Bakugo has planned for Izuku to be able to use 100%. I mean, if Bakugo knows that Izuku is self-sacrificing, he might be thinking that Izuku might try to break his body to get away from them. Actually, if Izuku would, if he thinks Izuku would try to break his body to get away from them, that really does say how stupid Izuku is at that moment in time. Oof. Hopefully, he doesn't try to do that. Okay, gotcha, Spade. Spade, those are really kind words. Thank you very much, Spade. Very kind. Bakugo loses to Nagant if there's a decent amount of distance. If he's close, he might have a chance. Yeah, I feel like if Bakugo is the same distance that that Izuku was from Nagant, I think he could approach her, but then everything after that would kind of depend on... I think it would depend on whether or not everyone else can give Bakugo enough cover to approach. Because Nagant can probably snipe him out of the air if he goes straight forward. Especially given like how quickly... Oh, hey Informatica. How are you doing? I'm alright, Informatica. Thanks for mentioning my Toga theory, but it's not that crazy compared to the Trader Midnight. Next thing you're going to tell me is Fuyumi is Eddie's mother. No, man, I got limits. But yeah, no, I agree. Like Toga appearing. Oh, oops, I forgot what I was doing. Toga appearing is significantly more plausible than Midnight being the traitor. Deadpool manga updated and made reference of its break. Also, I read that Hero Academia is going to be going on another break after this chapter. Does anyone, or after next week's chapter maybe? I think next week's chapter. Does anyone know about the Shonen Jump schedule? I don't know about the schedule that far in advance. Like I don't know where exactly I would even go to figure it out. Oops. Whoever traitor is, the revelation will be underwhelming at this point. It's just probably a random person. You know, that in of itself would be valuable, though. If it is a random person, I would respect that. But no, at this point, it's Midnight. It's like that. The Midnight traitor theory makes a lot of sense when you really think about it and, like, you loosen your mind up. I would say, you know, like that. But my opinion. That's my opinion, of course. I just personally really like the traitor theory now. Let's see. Oh, that's the wrong guy I was switching through.
Don't keep me waiting.
Okay.
I'll scout ahead.
AN63 says Deku had danger sense to avoid Nagant's bullet and even still couldn't react to some of them. Yes. All Class A could get sniped easily. Yes. There was too much stuff Izuku had to do to just keep up with her. He even needed Pseudo 100%. No way Bakugo beats her with distance between them. Okay. Yeah, though, like, for me, again, like, I think it requires a lot of distraction from everyone else for Bakugo to approach. I heard that Hero Academia is going to have a chapter, then a break, then a chapter, then a break. Oh, okay. God, dang it. Alright, well, you know what? I don't really care, because we are in the era where Jujutsu Kai goes on hiatus, so as long as these guys are healthy and happy, I honestly don't care. I'd rather we get the series coming out as opposed to having another situation of an author dying on us. Because that would be sad and very, very unfortunate. So, that's okay. And it gives us more time to cope with whatever happens in Hero Academia. Oh, Trip, remember when I said... well, apparently the SH community became really toxic upon hearing the news. Oh God, what did they say now? Are they going out saying like, what, you guys should be doing your jobs and, or, you know, whatever, blah blah blah, death threats, blah blah blah? Was it like that, random? Oh, okay. You know what, Jason? I can respect, you know, you're either on one side of the thing or you're on the other side. I can respect that you go to 100, Jason. Because it's one thing if you're kind of a flip-flopper and you're not very clear about what you ultimately want. But if you're flat out just saying that, Jason, I can respect that. Ah, ha, you got rid of it. Yeah, but don't worry, Jason, I'll remember. Oh, no, it's back. Gotcha, Jason. Cool. Respect. Anyway, Random, tell me more about this toxicness from the Shield Hero community. We've confirmed 2 more chapters because there was news of My Hero Academia getting 3 color pages in a row, including this upcoming one. Okay. Okay, well, let's see if that holds. Oh, yes, Fade. I just kind of summarized them just because they seemed a little bit personal. And I just wanted to make sure that you knew I was still reading them. That's the only reason. If you would rather I just read them out loud, though, Spade, you can just ask and I will totally read them. That was just on my own judgment. Let's see. Ty says, I'm actually feeling worried about My Hero Academia anime. I think the Villain Academia art won't be adapted well. It might be rushed. Yeah, so Sarge was talking about this last night, Ty. Like, Sarge was doing the calculation, and I think Sarge said, like, what, 40 oh, yeah. It was some number like 40 chapters to 6 episodes, roughly, or something like that. So, with Sarge's numbers, it does look pretty concerning. But, yo, listen. Here's the reality. This is... If the anime does legitimately screw the pooch on this particular instance of the Hero Academia anime, you know what that'll ultimately say? It'll be a really great example of how much money makes a difference. If they're gonna screw the pooch on this one, it goes to say how much this thing was not good on the other side, which is still kind of nebulous to me. Like, honestly, I'm being really cynical here, but even I'm not believing what I'm saying here on this point, that this is because of this thing being badly received. Even I can't believe what that possible hypothesis, because it can't be that badly received, right? That they would screw it this badly. Yeah, no, it's odd. It's very odd. I wonder what they're thinking. I wonder what exactly is the thing that they're going through in the back room. But let's say, okay, going back to the hypothesis, if this is based on money and based on some kind of idea that that arc isn't popular, it's going to be just a great reminder of ultimately what rules anime and manga is how much money it produces. It's important that people realize this is the cynical world that we live in. But again, it's kind of weird. It's kind of weird. Like, I don't think the data right now supports that this was so critically bad that it justifies botching. Deku beats the whole class, and that's why I need you all to stay safe at school. Deku's probably going to escape. I feels like My Hero Academia Season 5 is more for the manga readers rather than the anime viewers. I can see why people are bored since there is too much downtime and the order of the episodes are kind of confusing. Yeah, the order of the episodes, it is legitimately confusing. Jason said, I like My Hero Academia, but Horikoshi isn't a real person to me because I don't know him. He's far too removed. I'm more interested in his work and my entertainment. Jason, again, I respect how real you're being, man. I really, really respect that. See, like, I like knowing who I'm talking to. Yeah, Jason, thanks. Thanks for letting me know, man. 100%, I respect that. Random said, mostly throwing around insults about the delay. Apparently they're not understanding that the Spirit Turtle is gigantic and will be in CG, and we know how the anime community is towards CG. Oh. Oof. I think, like, look, man, we live in a COVID era, and you guys are telling me about all that stuff with MAPPA and whatever they're doing. I think everything considered, I really don't mind if people delay stuff. Like, honestly, it's a non-issue for me. I don't care. Whatever. Like, give me something to look forward to in 2022 because my years look bleak, boys. Otherwise, yeah, I feel bad for the anime team and whatnot. 40 chapters from My Hero Academia. Oh no, so it's 20? It's 20 chapters? So what did Sarge, I apologize if I got your numbers wrong, man. That's my mistake if I did. So it's 20 chapters for Villain Academia over 6 episodes. You know what? I'll do the numbers myself later. I'll try and crunch them. If Midnight will indeed die in the anime, I hope she either gets brought back somehow or her story ends on a good note after her death. Yeah, Robert. Like, but like, yo, if she comes back as a traitor, that's worth something. That'll be funny. That's still gonna be funny. I really hope she comes back as a traitor. That's gonna be hilarious. Try and see what to do here. Probably have to go and scrunch up some materials. Who's getting built right now? Sucrose. Yeah, okay. We'll go do Beth.
Knights and aristocrats share the same cultural heritage.
Okay, Spade was asking, what made you interested in novels or anime? So, like, what is your special or favorite series of all time? Also, big question, what genre as well? Okay, let's see. What made me interested in anime and manga? Like, anime, it was really an issue of, I don't think I would have liked anime had the difference between cartoons and anime not been more clear. Like, I grew up on, like, the Dragon Ball, Outlaw Star, Sailor Moon era. And so, like, as a kid, you can tell there's a fundamental difference between these shows and, like, the regular cartoons, like Ed, Edd and Eddy and all that kind of stuff. So, with that in mind, you know, it's a little bit different thing. In terms of what got me onto subbed anime, I remember I was watching Naruto around tuning exams. And then after that, It was roughly where Naruto was fighting Kiba in the tuning exams, and I was just like, well, I want to know what happens next, and that's how I got into the into watching anime subbed. After that, I got into manga because I got to the point. I remember around where this happened. I jumped into the Naruto manga when it was dealing with Azuma dying. So I think I jumped into the manga proper. What was the thing that made me want to go read the manga? I think it was when Shippuden was coming out, roughly, in terms of anime. So that's what got me into manga reading. And from there, it just kind of went from that direction. So Naruto ended up being my gateway to like the bigger thing. In terms of like why I started reading novels, I started reading novels on a website called Bakasuki. One of the first novels I started with, I'm pretty sure, was High School DxD. Was it High School DxD? High School DxD was one of the ones that was written. But I think Shield Hero as well might have been one that I started reading early on. And yeah, like I just started reading it mostly because like I liked the anime from the beginning and I wanted more content. In terms of my favorite genres, I like battle shonen. I like battle. Like that's the kind of stuff I write. I like battle shonen. I don't write battle shonen, but I like battle manga. So like, or I like battle shenanigans. So all my things would be more tilted towards fighting and all that. In terms of the second genre, I like romance. Like my favorite, one of my favorites is still Angel Beats. Yeah, I think that's a good chunk of answers there. I'm trying to think, what do I need to do on the map? So hard when my head's all over the place. Okay, I'll remember. I'll figure it out. Let's see, who am I building? Okay, let's see. Okay, got that. They should see this delay as a good thing because it means they could do better to touch up the series since there is training arc as well as the Spirit Turtle arc. I mean, I don't know. It might, because you never really know how these production things go, man. Like, they might just put themselves in the exact same situation that they're in now. There's really no guarantee that they're going to be able to manage this correctly. I don't think anime studios manage themselves very well. Oh, right, Beth. That's what we're going to do. We're going to fight Beth. Yeah, I don't think anime studios manage themselves well. I mean, like, when you see all the high-profile disasters that occur, I think it's fair to say that they don't have really good project management sometimes. So I don't have, like, for a video game, it's different. But for an anime production, I don't have that same kind of hope. They should stop making My Hero Academia movies. Not as long as they make money, but that is probably a big issue. I can't be as bad as the joint training arc. That went on too long, especially in the anime. Oh, I like joint training. I think joint training was really good. I really appreciated it. Well, you guys know me. I like the character interactions more than I like anything else. For me, joint training is just... For me, joint training is a way of fixing the problem with Class 1B. That being that Class 1B was non-existent before joint training. And it was also... you know, setting the foundation for a lot of things. Mind you, Shinzo might have been like really heavy-handed in terms of his role with the vestiges. You could have written that in another way, but I think joint training is really important because even in the most cynical way of talking about it, joint training is the biggest indicator of Hero Academia's weaknesses, both present and current. Because, look, joint training doesn't happen if Class 1B was actually respected from the very beginning. But they weren't. So that's why this had to go down the way it did. Because Horikoshi isn't good at actually balancing out character exposition and character introductions. Heck, man, to this day, we only really know about one person in Class 2A that's significant. And to this day, we still don't know that many people from Class 3, right? Or from the third years. And like compare and contrast, Shokugeki no Soma, you have a pretty good idea of who the important third years are from relatively early on. Like Hero Academia just was never good at this. And I mean, like the only reason I bring it up in that particular sense is just because if you want to talk about flaws, like that is legitimately an interesting argument to make for Class 1B, being that joint training is pretty much the apology to them. If you want to be poetic about it, right? You would say it's the apology to them. If you want to be like scathing.
Beg for mercy. mercy. Ha! More speed. Out of the frying pan, it's shut up. Yeah.
Great, 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 great. It's also probably an apology to Shinzo, thinking about it too. Like, Shinzo gets so much on that. It's probably a little thing to just finish up Shinzo. You know, it's probably, like, I can see some people also probably maybe saying that Horikoshi just isn't good at the school aspect of Hero Academia anymore. Just because, like, the Gentle arc gets a lot of criticism as well for being a relatively low-stakes arc, even though it's a big moment for Izuku. Great. Let's go power up Sucrose. It can't... Okay, let's see. I think... Oh, jeez. Okay, there's a lot of comments. It can't be as bad as joint training. That... Okay, let's see. I think it's to get to the Shigaraki versus Redestro fight in the finale. I hope so, Ethan. Part of me finds it absolutely hilarious seeing Endeavor get called down to the principal's office. Oh, I thought that was nice. I thought that was just... Like, I thought it really tactical. Like, Endeavor likes Netsu, clearly. And Netsu is still one of the smartest people in the world, right? But that's a funny way of going about it. Yes, parasocial relationships are weird. Since Shield Hero Season 2 got delayed to 2022, most are assuming Season 3 will be delayed to 2023. That's fair. Yeah, so I think I just misremembered. Oh, okay, so Sarge got confused. Oh, okay. So this looks like it's just a mistake on both me and Sarge. So just 22 chapters? Okay, that's different. 22 chapters across 6 episodes from Sarge's estimate. A little bit better. Endeavor has also gotten a lot more humble. This is just me. He's beaten down, Spade. He's 100% beaten down. Considering how they really try hard to link the movies to the timeline, maybe there won't be a new movie next year. I just don't see where you could put one on the current arcs. Maki appears at the end of 2019, but 2020 is literally called My Villain Academia until 240. Gotcha. Rurouni Kenshin was the first anime. Okay, I used to watch English movies with subtitles. I think Bleach was the first manga I actually started following. After Soul Society, I need to read too much garbage fillers. Yes. Uncut Digimon Adventure? You mean like the original or the current? But even then, there might be some missing scenes, and they do adapt nearly 20 chapters in 6 episodes plus 7 chapters from the war arc being used for the Shirakumo stuff and the All Might scene. Yeah, no, there's probably going to be some major skippage. I know there's debate among the community about when the arc starts, which admittedly the whole concept of arcs is a bit weird. Some consider the initial reveal of Redestro as the beginning. Actually, I would consider that like the beginning of Villain Academia. I would start considering like the starts and ends are rough, but I think if you look at the end of an arc, you can start the beginning, right? Like the fallout of the war happens, like it starts when they're at the hospital, pretty much. But story arcs kind of bleed into each other. I like Angel Beats, but some of it doesn't make any sense. Like, how did Angel get to the afterlife before the guy that donated his heart to her? Like, what the heck? Oh, yeah, for that one, Jason. Like, for that one, I just kind of thought, okay, yeah, no, it's just death shenanigans. Like, if you, the way I think about it, if you have a place that's outside of time, then people can slot themselves in there at any point in time relative to themselves. So in a place outside of time, people can arrive at different moments, even though they've been there for time before. I do think stories play around with that when there is this kind of crossover into purgatory. Angel Beast is not the only one that has come up with this idea of people arriving at different times. I think quite a few do, and I think Angel Beast probably took that idea from somewhere else. Though, mind you, I can't think of any story like that right now, but that idea did not seem foreign to me when I saw it in Angel Beats. And there might be like some school of thought somewhere that does say purgatory is timeless, so because of that, people can arrive at any particular point in time. Like, there's a thought that I've been having about whether or not reincarnation is linear. Like, if you're going through the cycle of reincarnation, do you actually get reincarnated forward in, like, as your reincarnation numbers grow, are you actually going forward in time, or do you get reincarnated into the past after a future reincarnation, right? But I don't know the literature because I haven't read up on it for a very long time. So I don't know if there's been anyone that's posited that, and I don't know if there's any like firm rule in any religion that says no, reincarnation only goes forward. But it's cool things to think about. The movies are loose canon. Oh, hey, Animamus. What character from any other franchise would you compare to Mount Lady to? I compare it to either Turbo from Wreck-It Ralph, except not evil, or Paulina Sanchez from Danny Phantom. You know, Robert, I've never thought about it like that. Mount Lady? I don't know, man. I don't really think about Mount Lady like that. Mount Lady is like... God, that's a tough question. I don't think about her like that. I'd say Mount Lady's a tree hugger in general because of like whatever thing she has going on with Kamui Woods. I only accept movies that are legitimate canon like Jujutsu Kai and Kimetsu no Yaiba. That's safe. My first novel was Tuaru Index and Railgun. I'll be honest with you, that's kind of what the Toketsu or Kamen Rider really is, a genre, battle shonen in its most purest form. That's an interesting way of like looking at that, Spade. My hair probably has too many characters. Last time we saw any authorities besides the three was the school festival. Yes. Don't mind joint training in the anime. The pacing was too slow, especially the Momo battle. Oh, I agree with that, Ty. I agree with that. Hody doesn't know how to manage all the characters. He just enjoy making characters like an OC creator. That's reasonable. But you know, it's interesting to compare it. Like Bleach, you see, like Kubo in particular, he says this. When he has writer's block, he makes up new characters. That's why Bleach has character overflow. But when you look at it, like the first iteration of that strategy, the captains, the majority of them came out with very distinct personalities. And if you're Squad 11 comes out like a real winner. And if you're Mayuri, you come out like a real winner. Like Kubo's strategies worked maybe like 80, like for the captains, I feel like 80% of them were fleshed out. Heck, you even fleshed out some of like the visored captains. Yeah, man. Kubo's one guy that I never felt underserved with him, because from him I felt like I'm gonna get to know about these characters eventually, and for the ones that he didn't really cover, it's like I don't really care anyway. Like he put so much effort into covering those characters that ultimately I felt really happy. And then, when you go into like the final arc, he does do his best and shows off all the Bonk guys. Like Kubo's a guy that he definitely tries his best to get the characters he showed off, get some personality into them. He should have done like Black Clover, having Asta and Yuno separated in different groups, having Deku in B and Bakugo in A. Yeah, that actually might have been a good strategy, because that did help flesh out Yuno's group, but he's got quite a lot. Oh, Random, you did? Did you like it, Random? Like, when I was making that video, I was surprised at how much was changed, and it just became like, the only way to talk about this is to list all the differences, and talk about like any little insights where I could, but it was just like, there was a lot. There was so much that was different in the episodes, and it's still just so much that's different. Too many characters, not enough of them are important enough to the overarching narrative. Yes. There's something I won't deny. Horikoshi has a mass talent for dark realism shonen genre. I think I would say fully it would be similar to Berserk author use of dark fantasy and horror. Oh, Seth, good to see you're excited. Yeah, I'm pretty excited for it too. Dark realism. I don't know. I feel like there's another shonen that did that pretty well. Oh, you know what? Promised Neverland did dark realism pretty well. Like, Promised Neverland was pretty dark. Is there any other examples of like dark shonen? I can think of Promised Neverland. Maybe Siren from back in the day. Oh, maybe Enigma as well. Enigma was pretty hardcore back in the day, but Enigma was a canceled series. Okay, Silent Box. Hey, Silent Box. I think both Izuku and 1A are in the wrong, but I still want to see Izuku mop the floor with them, and maybe one or two students side with him. I would like to know more about that opinion. What do you think 1A is doing that is incorrect? The reason I like Angel Beast so much was I thought the backstory of the guy with hypnosis power was really good. Very nuanced, realistic, and the right amount of sadness. Oh, is that like extra material though, Jason? Because I know Angel Beats had extra material, and I never read the extra material. And I don't remember that guy's backstory very well. I remember people mentioned that things were omitted from the anime. Dungeon of Black Company airs tomorrow. Are always a pick me up. They don't disappoint. Oh, that's great, Seth. That's great. Hey, it's gonna divert from top, but are you adding friends to Genshin Impact? If so, what's your ID? No, Informatica. I don't add friends to Genshin Impact. I just like to play by myself. I'm sorry. I'm lame. But thanks for asking. If I change my mind, I'll keep that in mind, and if you're still around, I can add you up. I heard about a theory that everyone is a reincarnation of everyone. The same soul constantly reincarnated back and forth in time. The end result is for the entity become a god after many rebirths. Oh, well, I can engage on that anime. This is very exciting. So, God in this system is God is God by the virtue that God is infinity, and the individual souls they become God by experiencing infinity. That's why you have the iterative process of reincarnation. Now, when it comes to like everyone being the same soul, I think like maybe in most systems it's probably going to end up being like a yes but no question. Like it's yes in the sense that every soul can go back towards being one unit, and we really don't know what like at our okay, everything I say is based on the system that I am referencing, not my personal opinion. But based on the system, we don't really know what 300 ascensions ahead of us looks like. The common metaphor is that there are 300 or like 1,000 or 777 gods. Like any number, there's an infinite amount of gods ahead of us as being going towards God. And like if we were to say that Earth has a god or something like that, the metaphor still stands. There's many gods beyond Earth's god or whatever. But the point of the matter is that we don't really know what soul stuff looks like at a higher level. So everyone might legitimately be the same soul, but because of the experiencing infinity thing, what if you were to try and conceptualize it in more scientific terms, you can imagine it as parallel processing, where every soul is kind of doing their own thing, and then when all those souls come back together to form one unit, all those experiences get allotted into one unit, right? So that's why it's a yes and no kind of question dependent on the system, because some people will say like everyone is the same soul because the same soul came from the same source before splitting into multiple souls. And like if you want to know, like the Buddhists have some ideas about how parallel realities works. Like when it comes to parallel realities, and when I talk about parallel realities, I mean like quantum theory parallel reality, like multiverse parallel reality. When it comes into that, the idea might be that one soul is experiencing multiple parallel realities. So if you imagine the soul like as a circle, imagine like multiple lines coming from that circle, and that's all your parallel doppelgangers. So when you look at it like that, if you layer it up, you can see another mechanism like that for like, you know, difference between me and you. Like me and you, Animamus, we might be connected to the same soul ball, but we might be different expressions of the same soul, right? It depends on how ultimately you want to view whatever situation you're going through. But yeah, when it comes to parallel realities, I thought that one was really interesting because the idea that the same soul is connected to, say, 5,000 different iterations of a personality, that's pretty intense. And I didn't expect that a Buddhist would have thought about parallel realities in that particular sense. It's really neat, but after a point, it gets kind of overwhelming. But within the schools of thought, there's also like the idea of as above, so below. So wherever you see a mechanism occurring, it's probably occurring multiple times over as you layer up in the hierarchy. But still very interesting stuff. But I do like that the end result that you pointed out, that is ultimately the end result. It's to approach godhood by experiencing infinity. Although like at some point, the ultimate final god will just absorb everything back into itself. That's the idea. I don't know how people feel about the idea of a god coming out from God and being another god. And you know what? For like reference, whenever we say God in these particular sense, we're not saying like the Abrahamic God. We're saying God is the world in which we have our being, like the reality in which we live and have our being. So just the world itself is God, and that's how they talk about it. Just kind of trickles down from there. Anyway, that was a cool one, Animamus. I think Hodi's actually managed to make Class 1A pretty serviceable, at least by most shonen standards. What do you mean by serviceable, Seth? Like, what exactly are you, like, what are you trying to say with serviceable? Who's your favorite DBZ character, and who do you think is best character? My favorite is Gohan. I think Future Trunks is the best character. Him killing the androids was satisfying. Vegeta. I like Vegeta, and I think he's the best. Bleach was a story without a real end goal. it had an end goal when it came to Aizen, but after that, the end goal would have been discovering the. I'm pretty sure Bleach's end goal is stopping Urahara, and I'm pretty sure the end goal would have been discovering the secrets of Soul Society. Why do you think he never showed Aizen's Bankai? I don't know. I don't know about that one. I mean, like, he might have shown it, but we might never have known. I know that the reason that Aizen didn't have Bankai during Deicide was because Aizen got too overconfident and pretty much abandoned his Shinigami powers. So that's why we don't see it during Deicide. But after that, I don't know why he didn't show it off. He could have shown it off in the novels, but he didn't. But then again, the novels also don't answer everything about the Bleach universe. I'm still hoping for the day that the Bleach anime is able to renew interest in this property so that we can go back into full-on Bleach. One thing I've also enjoyed about My Hero Academia is how even the most obscure of no-name characters will continue to show up throughout the series. Yeah, I do like that. I do like the Easter eggs. I do like how like the heroes keep up popping up. Angel Beats does a good job of reincarnation though. Oh yeah, I think so. What would be another thing in common with Meteor both being Class B? Well, I don't even feel Class 1A as having a strong bond relationship. I don't know. Like, I see how happy they are when they're all together as a class. Like, when they're doing Christmas, I think that's really cute. When I see them having fun in general, going shopping in the endings, I really believe it. When I read them having fun playing games in the novels, I believe it. Like, I see Class 1A as fire-forged friends pretty much. But mind you, like, I'm also coming in here with, like, the extra materials informing my opinion. And, again, like, them all having fun in Christmas, I think that's a really pleasant moment. Although from Ju and Maeda, I like Little Busters the most. Fair. Death Note is dark shonen. Can you imagine if the author had the balls to make Light win? Yes. That would have been interesting. You should check out Platinum Death though, Jason, if you haven't already. I only watched the Angel Beats anime. The character was the one that had a twin when he was alive, and the twin died and took the place of the twin. Oh, okay. So I completely forgot that, man. Their father wanted him to become his successor, but his life lost meaning once his father got sick. I think he might have killed himself. I thought it was pretty good. It's the backstory I always remember first. Yeah, I don't remember that at all. Oh, hey Viz. I'm alright, man. We've just been talking. And, oh, wow, it's already been an hour. Well, I'll go for a little bit longer. Good conversation. I wanted Class A versus Deku for a while now, so I don't think I have any complaints about the setup. It was a bit easy for the kids to get permission, but Shonen's gonna Shonen. Yeah, I agree, Steph. I do think there was a little bit of convenience happening to make it happen, but I don't really mind at this stage in the game. Like, whatever, let them go after him. Now, I think maybe it would have been worthwhile to have Aizawa go with them. Actually, that's the other person. Aizawa probably should have gone with them. Because Aizawa would have been a good counter, but then again, leaving Yue unguarded, because Aizawa is such a critical weapon, that might have been a bad idea. Buddhism has multiverse? Well, I don't know if it, like, the Tibetan Buddhist I talked to, and he was an old man. Like, he was a really old man. He's open to the idea. But I don't know if the multiverse appears in any of their literature. I'd have to check. I'd have to check to make sure, but I'd have to like go and find the old stuff. But for like at least the old man that I spoke to, he seemed pretty okay with it. I've seen some people that say they're hyped about Deku versus 1A, but I don't really care. I already know he can beat all of them. Don't need to see it actually happening to know that. Ironically, I think what holds him back is always the constant struggle between typical shonen and pulling towards the dark path of My Hero Academia world. For his wait. Ironically, I think what holds him back is always the constant struggle between typical shonen and pulling towards the dark path of Hero Academia world. For his series, similar with Day Gray Man and Tokyo Ghoul. Yeah, I still don't think like Hero Academia is like the darkest thing in the world though. Like it has some concerning undertones, but not the worst thing in the world in my perspective. But maybe I'm like also conflating it with another idea here. I do believe that Izuku can beat them all. That's why he's nerfed to make the fight at least fair. I agree with that. He's still probably going to take out most of them in 1 or 2 panels. I hope so. I won't be here long since I don't want to get spoiled, but... Oh! Hey, Terry. Yeah, Deku would win against the whole 1A if he had full energy. Yep. Did you check out the simulator? I looked it up on Steam. I haven't bought it yet, Viz, because I'm being careful with money. But I looked it up on Steam. Eddie getting that giant sword for Christmas was the best part. Yes, it was. I just really like the Miss Joke is the first shown during Sports Festival. Xless shows up during Hosu and Camino. The hero who downplays Uraraka and plays a part in the war. Yeah. Yeah, no, I love that. And like Gentle's friend, or not Gentle's friend, but that one guy that didn't know who Gentle was, he was there too. Last thing before peace out till next week. Long time. Oh, yeah, Mineta Momo. Yes, yes, yes. Oh, hey, Gohan. To me, the series ended after Cell Games. Goku stayed dead. Him coming back after Gohan raised his brother dead, beat dad, turned me off. Okay, gotcha, gotcha. And yeah, no, man, I really appreciate. I started appreciating Bleach more when it came to reading the novels. Like, Kubo really is a really good idea person, and when he has someone who can flesh out the ideas, I think he's golden. I think he's one of the people that actually would do really well with having a really good writer and him being like a supervisor. People were theorizing that Class A is going to get through to Izuku in the same way he got through to Shoto during the sports festival. I mean, I'd be okay with that. Like, I just need to see something that's worthwhile. Like, it can't be easy, right? It has to be effortful. When it goes to Aizawa, there's a few one, like you said, it's that he's a very useful guard for UA, yes. One glance and all for one dies. Another would probably be, in the war, he lost his leg and seemingly one of his eyes. Based on timeline of this chapter, it might have been a week or two since the war, so he could still be recovering. Yeah, like, I wondered about that. For the recovery stuff, I feel like he should have the prosthetics already. And, like, if he's a workaholic, he's out there. Because, I mean, at the end of the day, Izuku's one of his students as well, right? Izuku went so hard for him. I could see Aizawa telling himself, I need to go hard for Izuku. But those are really good points. Those are really good points. Like, those are really excellent counterpoints. Like, if the author used them as counterpoints, I wouldn't really mind. My Hero Academia is less dark, more grounded undertones. Like, every situation is probably the darkest we got. And that's still mostly implied torture. It's not on screen. I think also, like, you know, it's, Hero Academia features a lot of societal evil. So, like, societal evil tends to be uncomfortable evil that people don't like really engaging with. So, you know, like Endeavor's situation and the situation with Shigaraki's family. Like, those are the uncomfortable it's the uncomfortable evil. I think Hero Academia is really good at uncomfortable evil, which would go into Seth saying grounded undertones. It is grounded. Slowly getting Ishigami when it comes to Miko. Also, some readers aren't happy with how Miko is trying to get Ishigami to notice her. Okay. What if Mount Lady's a traitor? Oh, no. I think the main thing is Izuku seeing himself that he's a person who needs to be saved. Don't know. Okay, the main is Izuku seeing himself that he's a person who needs to be saved. Don't know that'll actually unfold, but I think it can work. I'd be very interested to see how Izuku comes to the conclusion that he needs to be saved. If, like, I would be interested to see how he gets there. I think that would be pretty novel. Just wish DBZ had an arc where Vegeta's past sins come back to haunt him. They brushed over his deeds when he joined the team, which could have been done better. I don't remember enough about Dragon Ball. I don't remember enough. I should clarify. I don't mean physically recovering. Recovery Girl basically removes the TM. I think more along the line of him getting used to having one leg and a lack of depth perception. Oh, yeah, okay, fair. I just hope that the rest of the Class 1A members are not useless, especially Momo, since she has many ways to create something to immobilize Izuku. Well, Mineta. Mineta's the king of immobilization. I hope everyone can... Look, when you go into this battle, I think it would be okay to have, like, a strategy that revolves around 5 key people. If you have a strategy that revolves around multiple people... Or, like, if everyone goes in hog wild, it's not going to work. But if you have, like, the critical hitters, like Uraraka or Mineta there, and you center around them, I think that'll be good. It's interesting how much of Hero Academia could be described as grounded. It goes back to Hodi's previous attempt to get into Shonen Jump. It'll take a while for him to get a prosthetic leg, not take him a week to get used to it. I think he'd get a prosthetic leg pretty quickly because of UA's technology department. but to get used to it would take a while. Bakugo calling Deku an All Might copycat while he has the hero named Dynamite. Yeah, no, but you know what he meant. He was like Bakugo at that point is trying to he's trying to mock Izuku because Izuku's being stupid. Like Izuku's way too and he's calling it outright. Izuku is trying to be a copycat. I think like Bakugo was very correct to call him out in that particular sense. Oh, adjusting. Yeah, I understand adjusting better. But with Momo, she can create a knockout gas, anesthetic, or tranquilizer. I'm just concerned whether or not Momo's going to say something like, you know, I can't use that, guys, because, you know, it's against the law. Like, if Momo's citing law to justify why she can't capture Izuku, I mean, that would be consistent with what Horikoshi does to her. Oh, that's a fair point, Spade. So Spade said, I meant like, it wants a mature tone, but you gotta remember there's just kids, which I symbolize as a shonen jump genre light that keeps the darkness of Hero Academia from itself like society. Yeah, but then you have something like Death Note that was full on just rough. But again, like Death Note ends. Actually, even Light's death in Death Note was pretty. That was 100% a hubris kill. I could really respect that one. Oh, hey, Rotson. Why are all Class A in Camino? It was said that the Hero Corps students are patrolling outside the campus, so they're specifically tracking Izuku. So they're not going to let him go easily. Yeah, no, that's because Nezu told them to go get Izuku. So they got permission to go out and do it. So that's pretty much it. Like, what's justifying... I'm actually really happy with Nezu in the chapter. I think he comes out of it. Him and Bakugo are probably like the big highlights for me. So Nezu comes out and... It makes sense. If he was concentrating all his forces around UA, it makes sense why he can afford to send them out. Because like that's so many layers of security. You're not really losing all that much. You're just, like some people might just have to work a little bit harder, but that's not the worst situation to be in.
Shut up. Over here. Steady as stone. Race you.
Okay, let's see here.
Crush.
Where is she? Oh, there she is. Okay. One second, guys. 1 second. I will read your comments in a quick second. Let's see. Oh, I haven't checked the French. It's been more accurate lately, but let's see. Oh, yeah, Steph. I was just looking at a translation that was on Tumblr. But yeah. I think Uraraka would actually be pretty bad here since he was used to help Izuku train float, so he's probably used to it. Would give an advantage for escaping. It would be a limit who can reach him. Yeah, readers know that it would be a problem for Uraraka. Like, Uraraka's not going to be useful unless she's going in for, like, some kind of mental victory kind of thing, right? If she's going in for distraction. But the kids might not know that Ochako is not useful. Like, Izuku might think Ochako tapping him might be a hit he can afford to take, right? But if he doesn't let the kids know that that's a hit he can afford to take, he has the advantage. But after what Momo has experienced, I expect it to be more decisive and take matters more seriously. That makes sense to expect that, but I don't know if we'd actually see that. Because Momo is such a hype killer that the author has repeatedly screwed her over. That's the thing that concerns me. It's not so much Momo, it's more what the author is not willing to do with her. Oh, if we get a flashback formulating a plan on how they're going to capture him, Matthew, I'd be quite alright with that. Huge stretch, but Death Arms could be the traitor. They said he quit recently. He could use that as a means to turn side and give info to All for One. I hope not. Izuku's too willing to pile up responsibilities on himself. Yes. The Spear Hero spin-off updated. It was a sad chapter given what happens in it. Oh, okay. So Class 1A are still first years. That means Mirio and the others have not graduated yet? It really depends. Like, because here's the thing, right? When does graduation happen? It doesn't happen at the beginning of a school year, right? So graduation should have happened a little bit before the war, I think, if I recall correctly. Graduation doesn't happen over school break because they were having spring break, or they were having, like, you know, the Japanese equivalent of a break before the start of the next year. So the third year should have graduated. I just took a closer look at Nezu, and I find it out he's got such huge shells, but it's so short. How's he supposed to use those? Maybe he has a step stool. Zero and Suyu should at least know, so there's a chance they know she isn't useful. Wait, would they know that Izuku is training float in particular? Because if he says, like, oh yeah guys, I think I'm gonna, what did he say to justify that training actually? Do you guys remember? I don't have my files open. Oh wait, no wait, I do have my files open. What did they say to justify Izuku doing that training? Did they use Black Whip as the excuse? Let's see. What would I have saved that under? Maybe Suyu? Oh no, maybe it would have been Float. Maybe it's Float. If someone knows the chapter where Float showed up, that'd be fine too. Let's see here. Oh, there we go. So All Might told them, Professor Ochako, you're here to teach him about body controlling while breaking in mid-air. And then he said, more power means more increased hang time. Okay, now I get it. Additional hang time. Okay, I get it now. Gotcha. Thank you, Speed. That's what you were saying. Additional hang time. So he needs to master advanced mobility in mid-air. Gotcha. Okay, so that's what they said. Thank you, Speed. All Might just said that Izuku needs to move more. Okay, thank you, Rotson. They said that his increased percentage would give more airtime. Baku would be the only one to know that Uraraka is useless, unless Bakugo told them about the quirks and training was about. Oh, right, yeah. So Bakugo's probably like the one that could have told everyone what the other quirks are. Okay. Thanks, guys. You guys are awesome. So with that in consideration, yeah, Poison, that's what I'm feeling too. So with that in consideration, I think it'd be cool if we get a scene where Bakugo pretty much tells them, okay guys, the ones that we have to watch out for might be the second and third quirk, and also we have to be ready for all these quirks to be powered up by One for All. And then Bakugo shouldn't know that Danger Sense is active yet. And he doesn't know how Danger Sense would work, because Izuku didn't show it off well enough. So unless All Might was able to talk to those kids, but I don't think he did. It depends. Well, Bakugo should be the one that's giving the information to how they're going to take down Izuku. God, if this goes into this and those kids did not come up with a plan to stop Izuku, that's going to be embarrassing. But I can't see the author doing that in any good fashion. Like, if he did that, that would be a little bit ridiculous. Like, the author's not that bad. Not at all, no.
Steady as stone. Let me amuse myself. Freeze to the core.
Okay, let's see here. Okay, Steph is back. Some details fuzzy, but that's the general gist of the chapter. That said, I really don't like experience. Yep, actual dialogue's way more fun. Agreed. Actual dialogue has like the proper nuances that we can dig into and see what they're actually trying to say. But again, I think Bakugo so far, from what I've seen, Bakugo comes out looking pretty good in this chapter. Ochako's told she's useless. That'd be interesting. Like, if Ochako, she would have to... Ochako, ultimately, she should be looking at being a supporter. Because she's not going to be able to handle Izuku directly, but she can enable other people to approach him with weird ways. Like, someone mentioned working with Seiro, right? Yeah, I think working with Seiro to get Mineta's balls on Izuku would be a great thing for her to do in general, because that'll be extremely helpful. Depends on whether or not their quirks have changed. Oh, you mean like quirk evolution? Yeah, I don't know. Would their quirks have changed in this short period of time? Some of them, I don't think they would have too many quirk awakenings. It hasn't been enough time to really justify growth unless they had a lot of growth during the 3 months. Still excited. Even if they know about the other quirks, the enhanced version with one for all is something they can't really plan that well for. Fajin is definitely going to wreck them. Moving faster than a sniper bullet. Yes. So Seth doesn't expect awakenings because it hasn't been too long. So to just clarify, the thing is, like, there's the 3-month time skip between when we see the kids and when the war starts, roughly, right? I think it's 3 months. That's the only spot where people could have had quirk awakenings in a reasonable time frame. Like, because Toru in particular is the example of this. Toru gets many upgrades over a short period of time. So with Toru's growth rate, other people could have had something occur in the time skip before the war. But otherwise, yeah, I think it is 3 months because I think we come back to school like in January, and I think we do the time skip to the end of March. So I think that's correct. But yeah, that's the only way they can justify the quirk evolutions. It's specifically if you're looking at this from the 3-month time skip. If Momo used Midnight Gas to capture Ichigo, can he fend it with Smokescreen? I'm not too sure, but he could fend it with just punching it away. Like, Izuku should be able to clap and cause everything to stop. Well, you know, like a shockwave. Uraraka quirk will not awaken because it needs trauma or something, and she still feels hopeful. No, she might have like a... She could have a kinda awakening in the same way that, like, Toru figured out she can manipulate light outside of her body. We don't know if you really need trauma to, like, build in that particular direction. Thanks, White Despair. Which villain would you like to kill All Might when the time comes? For me, it would be the sludge villain from first chapter. I'm pretty sure he escaped wherever he was held. I would like to see All Might die by going into a burning building. So I guess fire. Well, no, because that means Dobby. I'd like to see a piece of concrete squish him, and that's probably the way I'd go about it. It seems like Deku is limiting his quirk uses to just Black Whip and base one for all. All Might needs to live, but Sludge Villain needs to come back. Uraka might be able to use her uselessness by carrying other support items, and using the fact that Izuku thinks taking a hit from her is fine to use them effectively. People who potentially have a quirk awakening is Mina, Kirishima, and Momo. Oh, Poison, what do you think Kirishima's awakening would be? But just to remind you, like, remember, the character that was used as an example for this when it was being explained was Getin. And Getin got a new function when the need arose. It was like when Redestro got a burn on his hand or something that Getin realized he could control something else with his quirk. So the trauma necessary here isn't that big. It's just the need for the function is what they need. I guess the way to say that is the need needs to arise is the best way to say that. No, I should use sucrose.
I can do it.
Evil
cool.
shall be dispersed.
Oh, hey, Gohan. Let's see. Shigaraki's quirk somewhat awakened when he was tired and sleepy, and now Deku's in the same boat. This will be fun. Well, Shigaraki, you remember the exact rhetoric for that one. Shigaraki, his issue was he wasn't using his quirk properly. Like when he was half asleep, what he was doing was using his quirk the way it should have been used the first time. Like that was his quirk that he had from the very beginning. But it's more like Shigaraki might have been repressing it, and when his mind loosened up because of the sleepiness, that's when it got to come out. I mean, mind you, like I think Izuku's gonna be desperate here, and I think that's gonna ultimately cause things to go a little bit crazier than they should be. But I'm all for it. I'm excited. I can't wait to see what's about to go down here. I think it's gonna be hilarious. Do.
Leave it all to me.
Let's see. Villains should attack UA now. Third year's got class 1A away and a lot of refugees. Well, like, if I was looking at that situation, I wouldn't think just because 20 kids are gone, one of which controls a bunch of animals, I wouldn't think to attack UA just because of that. Like, the kids are just our first tiers. And, like, the real battle powers at UA are pretty much Ira, Shoto, Bakugo, technically Momo. Technically. Yeah, but like in terms of like really hardcore battle potentials, there's not that many.
Absorption test.
Like if I was all for one, my decision would not be made based on the UA students, or sorry, based on class 1A. But that's me personally. I wouldn't. I would do attack on UA when it's best to really bother Izuku.
Beg for mercy.
Poison said, Kirishima Awakening that I thought about is maybe something like Greed's ultimate shield from Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. Okay, maybe they're going to use the same strategy as when they fought 9. Force Izuku to use his quirks until he runs himself ragged. That'd be cool. I mean, he's already run himself ragged. Like right now, Izuku is like a pro at running on fumes. For me, All Might dies by the hand of Shigaraki trying to hold off by talking to him so Deku can get away from All for One. That'd be cool. That'd be cool. I'm gonna try to keep reading the story. Oh, Gohan, no worries, man. Don't worry, man. Like, take your time, Gohan. You have your life, guy. Thank you for thanks for keeping me informed, I guess. Sakura is the most hated Sakura is the most hated. Orihime the most useless or annoying female character, and Uraka is the best female character in Shonen of all time. Maybe like she's the most overhyped main lead. Got Kazuha, he's so fun. Oh, good for you, Seth. I can see Kirishima getting a second stage to Unbreakable, potentially look similar to Doomsday. Okay, might have to redo that. Let's after Black Clover. How will you have Quirk Awakening for Momo? I have no Quirk Awakening for Momo. The best she can do is like change up her her conversion rates, but otherwise I have no Quirk Awakening for Momo. Yeah, agreed. Class 1B, like they have wide effects, right? You have Mushroom Girl and Mudman. Those two guys by themselves, and manga, you have some really heavy hitters on that one. Yes, Blaze. That's also what I'm just wondering what they're gonna do. It all depends. Again, it depends on how fatigued Izuku is. It's implied All Might is fine since he told the others Izuku ditched him. I'm still worried, not knowing where he is. Right now, he's just a quirkless old man that can get jumped any second. Yes. Well, All Might also have some support gear with him. Maybe Momo could gain fat like Fat Gum. That'd be funny. All Might and Stain about to get caught in a trap. Well, I don't know if Momo can create fire. Well, Momo can create fire like a flamethrower. The thing is, like, fire is a reaction. It's not, you know, I know what you meant by element, Sarge, but like fire is a reaction. She can create a flamethrower. And as for water, she can create water as well. It's just like the rate at which the water comes out of her body is the issue. Like really, she could make a water pump, or she could make like a water laser. She can make the device, and she can just shoot people with water laser technology. And when I say water laser, when I say water laser, I mean highly pressurized streams of water, right? Like she could do that. We already know she can produce liquid. I have a feeling that it's going to be Sludge Villain mainly because it's the only villain that has impacted Izuku, All Might, and Bakugo. How do you predict Midnight would die in the anime? By a villain's hand, sacrifice that doesn't involve being killed by a villain, or any other way? How would she die? She would die in the same way that it was depicted in the manga. That is, we see the villain approaching, we see Midnight looking towards them, and then we cut away from it, and then when we cut back, she's on the floor dead. It's going to go down the exact same way. I wonder if Stain will chat with All Might or go after Izuku. I don't know. Well, he's going to talk to Izuku. I still think that's pretty clear. For Momo's Awakening, I kind of want her to be able to move creations or something. I was actually thinking about Erza right now, or like use her as feathers. Okay. All Might had that. Okay, for Mina, more acid. For Mina, it'd be like acid control. But given that she can already do Acid Man, it seems like Mina has acid manipulation. Right? It looks like she has hydromancy, because if you can shape Acid Man, you must be able to control the way in which your water bends. or your acid bends. Oh, hey, Black Fox. But yeah, man, like, if Mina can already make acid, man, it must be some degree of kinesis going on. Ah, good, Matt. Still sad about Midnight's death. Yeah, me too, Gohan. Me too. But Gohan, don't worry. There's hope. There's a traitor theory on the horizon. Midnight might be the traitor. She might still be alive. And I thought about it more, like why she might care about Momo, and it might be more of a like Midnight wants to collect people. Maybe Midnight is just the kind of pervert that wants people, right? Like we've seen this kind of behavior in villains in manga before. People that collect other people because they're in love with them, or they're just in love with their youth or something like that. Yeah, man, like you can make Midnight's already pretty creepy. You can make Midnight creepier by just putting a villainous undertone on it. Like whenever she says like, "Oh my God, her springtime of youth," or whenever Midnight's just coveting them, you can just turn it into another direction by saying like, actually, she wants to put them to sleep forever and keep them in the basement. I mean, you never really know. Well, Poison Tree, if I recall, Mina did go through fire with that acid, so it's probably not combustible. You think that we'll see the Dolphin Girl again? Not gonna lie, I liked her design, especially the image of Izuku staring at her from behind. Yes, I think we're gonna see her again. Like the same way that we get other cameos, I think that's gonna happen again. I wouldn't be surprised. Let's see. Is there anything that I need to do? Oh yeah, there is. Maybe we see that Midnight is Momo's final villain. Yeah. Why do people think Bakugo was Toga? Guy, Darien, man, I can only give you theories. But I remember last week we were saying that. Oh no, Poison Tree. Like Midnight's not alive. It was a funny joke that we came up with yesterday about Midnight being a traitor. Anyway, yeah, it must have been because Bakugo looked too peaceful. That's all. Like I remember that's what we were talking about last week. That Bakugo had weird looking eyes. Oh, I can't wait for people to have to rationalize that one. Don't really know how to use Kazuha here. I'm just kind of bringing him out here just to see. Oh wow, that was neat. Neat. Possibly a Stain showing up for an assist. I think that is kind of possible. I'd say 30%. That'd be pretty. Like if it happened, I'd be very curious. Seth, does Kazuha's ultimate recharge that quickly in normal gameplay? If you're still there, Seth. Oh yeah, Darian. Like people. Yeah, last week last week, White Despair and them were telling me all about it. Like people were thinking that it was actually Toga. So that's why last night when we found the spoilers, it was like, oh good, the Toga theory's dead. I'm surprised how well put Bakugo's clothes were. Yes. Yes. They were very well put together. Oh, yeah, there we go. White Despair is telling us. Because Bakugo's eyes were weird and cat-like, thus he was obviously Toga in disguise. No flaws in logic there. Yes. Man, what a great time. Oh, hey, Prower. But yeah, guys, I'm going to call it in like 10 minutes. I'm tired. I'm going to skedaddle in 10. So if you guys got any last-minute things you want to tell me about. Trying to see what else we could do here. But I don't have too much to do in Genshin either. Great. That's done. Guess we'll just go to Spiral. Bakugo's a glorified cat. In Vigilantes, doesn't Midnight have Forians that call her mistress? She seems to like collecting younger people. Yes. Yes, Tai. Yeah. Oh, yeah. You're very kind, Prower. Thanks. Oh, and gotcha, Sam. Good night, Sam. Whew. Okay. But yeah, like, Midnight... I feel like there's a... If you really need to make Midnight a villain, I think you could. After seeing the actual dub intro and Jumpstart game, I'm really losing motivation to play it. Oh, that's too bad. It's not Hero Academia unless Twitter has some insane theories on it. Yeah, I can't wait to see what insane theory is going to come out from this one, aside from Izuku apparently not deserving friends. Aside from that. If we're ending the stream soon, then I'll guess... Yes, please, White Despair, state the theories. Oh yeah, they amp the ER for test runs. ER isn't terrible, I use him in electric charge team. Okay, gotcha.
Let the show begin. Stand clear.
I wasn't paying attention. I forgot that I was doing stuff. I forgot this is Spiral.
Try not to enjoy this.
I managed to get 3 more amiibos. Oh, nice, Prower. Mega Man? And you got Ness and Ryu. Nice, 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 man. Nice. Yeah, my most recent amiibo was the Palamute, or the Palamute from Monster Hunter. I got that one as a gift. But yeah, that's the most recent amiibo I've gotten. But that was like months ago, Prower. But that's cool. Were they easy to find, Prower? Do you have like a... Are there a lot of them in your area? I haven't seen a Ryu amiibo in my area for a while. I realize now I should probably be doing this a little bit better. Okay, Lisa.
Let's spark things up. You're in for a little shock.
So far,
Let's see. Class A loses the fight but win Izuku back. I think Class A could win the fight but lose the war when it comes to Izuku more. That's what I'm still leaning towards. Where are the other guys? Okay, so that's them here.
I'll protect us. Enhanced animal module 75.
God damn it.
Time to go.
God damn it. Shouldn't be using this now when... Now that I realize I'm using barbs. Shouldn't be doing that. God damn it.
Try not to enjoy this too.
Animal test 6308.
I did like that this Spiral Abyss this time around has the... Whatchamacallit. Oh, god damn it. The swirl bonuses. The swirl bonuses are pretty good.
Let's spark things
And I
up.
do love just unleashing all the special effects. Okay, let's see. What is Power saying here?
Higher, pants on fire.
Oh, oops, that might be a bad idea. That might have been a really bad idea. Yep, that was a bad idea. Let's go with Vaporize. Okay. Great. Let's see. I think this chapter proves this boy is anime version of Spider-Man, especially with his brooding. Hopefully we see Ryuko more. She's top 10. We barely see her, but she's very underrated. Yeah, like she's one of the ones that concerns me because we haven't seen her like since the hospital scene. Well, no, we haven't seen her since the war. We haven't even seen her in the hospital at all. If I'm being honest, I would hate if Midnight turns evil. Robert, I understand. I would hate it too, but I'd also appreciate it for the novelty. They finally added 3-star gear to Pokemon Masters. They also finally gave us something co-op in Pokemon Masters in months. Ah, yes, random. I saw that event today. I live in a Dallas suburb, so plenty of places to look for amiibos with the game exchange around the block from my work. Suddenly got a lot more amiibos in stock. Oh, okay. Wait, they saying Izuku should not have friends? Yeah, well, Darian, like, they're talking about, like, it's weird that so much of the class cares about him, from what White Despair told us. If Stain doesn't show up for an assist, I'm thinking Izuku gets away, but before long, he hits his hard limit and can't move, and that's when Stain appears, and Class A catches up to where they saw Izuku go. Ooh, that'd be a good one, Viz. That'd be really good. And again, guys, if Class 1A wins, I'm actually really happy with that, because it means Izuku will be happier faster. But right now, I feel like the author is just gonna like really twist the knife here. Time to get Marth, Lucina, Fox, and Falco amiibos they had. They did have female Inkling and Bowser Jr., but already had them. Oh, okay, cool. So the third movie is going to be released on August 6th. I wonder when it'll be released outside Japan. I don't know, Rotson. I keep hearing Robert and turning my head to my left out of habit. Oh, okay, gotcha, Sarge. I'm trying to get all the Smash ones as I now have 13 amiibos, 12 Smash related, 3 Splatoon related, and 2 that work with both. Oh, neat, Prower. Neat. Yeah, I don't have that many amiibos. I would like to have more, but like that's like a, that's like a nice to have, not really it ain't a priority for now. I would like to get a Bayonetta amiibo at some point.
Get them.
Leave it all to me.
Okay, so there's 3 enemies on this one. That'll be a lot. Okay. Do.
Useless. I must leave.
Where are these people? Okay, let's see here. Yeah, Ryoko and Shigaraki had a punch through her dragon hand. How those affect her uniform? Her hand looked mangled. Yeah, her hand should be mangled, but like I feel like when it's in human form, I feel like the hole should be smaller. You know what I mean, Ty? Just because like it's an expansion, right? There's no way that a hole in a dragon-sized hand should translate to like a hole in an arm, right? That's what I'm thinking. My current prediction is that Izuku will fail to defeat or get away from them. Personally, I think this is probably going to be the end of the whole solo deck thing. This situation seems a bit too extreme. I mean, I understand the apprehension there, White. I completely understand the apprehension. I can't say, like, I disagree with you thinking it's an extreme situation.
Nice and spicy.
It's just like, again, my issue is that I don't fully know how badly Izuku might react to this. In the sense, like, I'm not sure Izuku wouldn't get extreme in his response to this. Because he might now be thinking like, yo, I know all your weaknesses and I know all your limits. I don't want you anywhere near me. Like, because this could also be hubris on Izuku's part. Where he thinks he's, like, and this will play into what Bakugo is saying, where he thinks he's, like, he's the hottest thing since sliced cheese. And because of that, he thinks his friends are wrong in what they're doing. Because Izuku might be just thinking, you guys don't know me. You guys don't know how terrifying All For One actually is. So why should I listen to you all? It all depends on how Izuku's mentality is showcased in this situation. Ah, yes. We've seen the entire class get along for a while. I don't know how much slice of the moments they want. Yeah, me neither. Speed, me neither.
Steady as stone. Nice and spicy.
Izuku definitely wins the fight, but drains him so much. His tank is basically a vacuum rather than full of fumes. Oh, Trip, I need to correct an error. FGO with King Solomon isn't rather a movie. Oh, okay. Yeah, no, I thought that you were talking about a movie. Because I saw like the one of the movies had come out. So no harm, no foul, man. Oop, that might be bad.
Into the fire. I must leave.
Yeah, probably leave for now. Okay, let's see. How much do you think Izuku will try if they fight? I think he's going to try hard. I think Izuku's going to 100% going to try hard. Because I don't think Izuku has an issue with disabling them. My top 3 amiibos right now are Sonic, Meta Knight, and Karibo. Okay. Those are pretty good picks, Prower. And that's right, kind of Black Fox. I think the only reason for the Class 1A winning is Izuku's injured and exhausted. Yes, Kayla. That would be the good factor for Izuku winning. You think Mirko and new prosthetics would limit her, or basically she wouldn't be as strong as when she had her limbs? Hard to say, Ty. Hard to say. How much do you think Izuku will try if they fight? Oh, I think I got that one. He will try hard. I should clarify what I mean by extreme. If Izuku was starting to tire out and Class 1A showed up to try and back him up, then I would probably think that Izuku would get away. However, that is not how I see the situation. Izuku is so tired that he isn't able to stand up without using Black Whip. In addition to this, Class 1A was given the whole chapter of flashback. Definitely think he can't say that to Shoto, Momo, or Ida. Oh no, agreed. I definitely think he can't say that to them either. But Izuku had the gall to tell All Might to back off, right? Let's see. Yeah, like I said at the beginning of this video, at the beginning of the stream, this is all gonna come down to like really, what does the author want to argue for? Does he want to argue for Izuku's weakness, or does he want to say Izuku's knowledge is going to be the victory? It's going to lead to victory. Because really, when it comes to getting away from them, I do think a victory entails Izuku using his knowledge of what he knows about those kids. And I think I think a victory for Class A is using Izuku's exhaustion, right? So it's ultimately which one of those two factors is the stronger factor. And I'm not sure which one is the stronger factor in this particular situation. This chapter feels like the relationship between Izuku and Bakugo are swapped compared to the beginning of the series. Yeah, but you have to keep in mind that Bakugo is angry. Like, Izuku was never angry at Bakugo when he was trying to help him, but Bakugo is offended. Bakugo's mocking him because he's just like, guy, I know you're insane. Stop it. I'd really love it if he acts on their weaknesses. He recalls each notebook where he's written down stuff about their quirks. Me too. I'm really hoping that's what we get here. Like, look, I'd be okay if we get that and then the kids still win out, right? Because then that would just say that the exhaustion is stronger. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. We've just reached a point where I can't see Izuku being able to physically continue going the way he has been. If he was starting to tire out, then I can see it, but he's completely exhausted. And again, fair point, White Despair. Fair point. It's just for me, I could see like Izuku, trying to get away. He gets knocked out. Stain comes in, saves him, and then Izuku wakes up in Stain's bachelor pad. Right? Like, that's one way I can see about doing this. Okay, guys, let's start wrapping up. Unless we have any more comments that want to be fielded here. But yeah, I'm gonna go, like, probably go to sleep. Have a more restful weekend. Just running on fumes myself. Not as bad as Izuku. I'll start saying the good nights, but if you guys have any last minute comments, please let me know. Do you think he could beat the whole Class A? I think there's potential for that. Like, if you think about it, really, if Izuku was to flick them with Air Force right now, like a concentrated Air Force, a good chunk of them go down. Like, if they go down because of someone's gut punch, they'll go down because of Air Force. Like, there's a lot of ways to go about this. Yeah, so saying goodnight to Animamus, Seth, Chris, Prower, Matt. Would you say Midnight's more loved or hated? I'd say she's loved. Good night to AN683. Good night to Kayla. Good night to Matt. Good night to Ty. Deku's basically Batman, Superman, Spider-Man put into one. Only saving grace is that he has mercy and exhausted. Yeah. Good night to Poison. Good night to White Despair. Gohan, Viz, Black Fox, Random, Rotson. But yeah, guys, thanks for being here. We'll be back on Tuesday. You guys all rock. Stay safe. Stay healthy. Oh, good night to Darian as well. Don't do anything dangerous. And good night to John and good night to Miguel. Till next time. One flick takes out half the class. Yeah. Ending the stream in 5, 4, 3. Oh, good night to Saracens as well. 2 and 1.